Happy Monday, although it hasn't really been a happy Monday. I didn't do any updates this past week. I haven't released the episode yet for this past week, so that will go out hopefully tomorrow. But I don't really remember what happened. Saturday was Summer Streets. I went on a run with my friend, my bestie. And then I came home and was doing my part-time job because it was the day before the hike, so I had a lot of stuff to organize. And then Sunday rolled around. It was the day of the hike, so I went through in the morning to help out with that. I couldn't go to that hike just because I had stuff to do throughout the day. And then did the things that I had to do during the day, and then napped and rested, and then went to a block party for a little bit, for an hour. Got a new disposable camera not disposable camera, it's a point and shoot from Photodom. So excited to see what that looks like. And then just chilled for the evening. Today I slept in a little bit to give myself some rest. And then I just had back-to-back meetings. Not even back-to-back meetings. I would have preferred back-to-back meetings. I had 4 meetings, and they had an hour between each one, which I'm now realizing is terrible, because between each hour, I was just preparing for the next meeting. So it really felt like 8 hours. So by the time I got out of my last call at 3 or 4, I don't remember. Yeah, last call was 3:30, 3:45. I was pooped, done, exhausted, mentally drained. I was just over it all. Great conversations, great everything, all of it. But I was just tired. So I rotted. I scrolled when I shouldn't have, because the to-do list is ridiculous, because I'm going to be out of town for a gig for about 5 days. 5 days. And then, there's a workshop this weekend. There's a workshop that weekend when I fly back. There's a gig that I have later this week. There's the documentary and starting archival work for that. Trying to get a photo studio roots pop-up out this month as well. And trying to make rent. No gigs are coming in. Which is on me. I haven't been doing outbound research, so I need to work on that. July ended up being a very expensive month. I think it was the most expensive month of the year, because I had a lot of photo stuff, payments, and expenses, and investments, so it's a little nerve-wracking because the money has tipped. The money is a little low. It's very low. September's going to be good income-wise, because there's a lot going on, and that's awesome. So that's a great opportunity, but it's a little stressful out here. So I severely need to cut down my expenses. That's what has to happen. We're at that stage. I mean, I'm supposed to have been at that stage, but really now it's girl, your expenses need to be a third of what it has been. So getting very strict. For some reason, my grocery bill was so high last month, and the food didn't last. So, I bought a salmon and a steak. That's why. So, I'm gonna, before I go grocery shopping, I have to do that tomorrow, if not Wednesday. I need to, sit and plan this meal out. My algorithm has kind of already figured out where I'm trying to go with this. And it was here's how you can make a meal under $5. So, I need to, do all of that stuff, cross-reference, plan out the meals for the month. Not even for the month, I guess, for the next week and a half before I gotta go out of town. Just so I'm, accurate, not spending more than I need to be spending. Just being strategic. So we're at that point. We're at that stage. Grateful that I've had this time so far where I didn't have that stress. But it's hitting. It's hitting. Especially just knowing that November and December are high spend months with the holidays and travel and stuff. So that's a lot. But anyway, that was today. So today was a little disappointing, a little frustrating. But it's 10:30 now. I'm about to go to bed. So that's a win to be in bed this early. And I finally answered all of my texts and DMs. I caught up on all of that. Caught up on emails, all of that stuff. That was a huge weight lift off. Yeah, updated my budget, all that stuff, transferred things over. So, like, have kind of closed out my August or my July, reflected on the goals that I had for July. I hit a good amount of them. I think this is the month. July was a month where I hit the most amount of my goals, professionally and personally. So that's great. So that's just a good track for August, because not a lot of stuff rolled over. But that being said, August is very robust in what I need to get done. So I'm stressed, but, you know, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I'm taking it day by day, and I really, I just keep saying this, I really just hope this is a part of this story, in the book, in the memoir, in the film, in the whatever, that, like, is like, and we were down to our last bit of resource. I hope I don't have to get down to the last, but it's gonna happen by the end of the year. It's gonna happen. So, anyway. I'm gonna go to bed before I continue to spiral. But I will check in tomorrow. Okay, new space unlocked. We're on the ground because I'm still wearing outside clothes. I didn't want to get too comfy because then I wasn't gonna do this. I don't think I've done an update in a minute, and I don't really remember what happened. But yesterday was a wild day. Just woke up and I was so, what's today? Thursday? Yes, Wednesday. Okay, yeah, I was so overwhelmed. I had just had so much to do. And, I had a shoot later on that day, and we had a briefing call and realized we needed some equipment. So I ended up having to go to B&H, like order some stuff, go to B&H, pick up. Shout out to them having things ready for express pickup within 30 minutes, like standard. But I went there, stopped by, and I just had like a terrible time between, I'm not even gonna get into it, but it was crazy. And I don't use that word lightly, it was a lot. But picked that up and went home, and kind of prepped everything and was just like watching a bunch of videos. And then I go back out to McCarran and start setting up, and things are going kind of well. And then the shoot itself starts, and it was a fun concept with my run club. And then the light goes out, and thankfully, because I am hella prepared and I think through every scenario, I had my Godox V1, and that honestly kind of looked better than the like strobe light that we had, off-camera strobe. So we just shot that with the rest of it, and I haven't looked at the images because I am not looking forward to the post-production of trying to match. Like, it was like individual, it was a media day, and it was individual portraits of each person, and I'm not excited about having to match like as much as I can to make them all look cohesive and the same in terms of color. But that was fun, but that went late. It went 2 hours longer than it was supposed to because it just, it's a big group, and, you know, we run on CP time. I didn't. Let it be known that I was the first one there. For the record, because that rarely happens, just in general, me being the first person in anything. But, yeah, I went over, but they were great. They dropped me off. And then I woke up this morning, and all of my usual work meetings got canceled, which was great. So I went to the store, did some store tasks, and then I, like, rotted. I needed to rot. I was on my phone for like 4 hours today. There was just so many people need me, and like I'm doing so many different stuff, and I was like, I just want to like have the privilege of no one needing anything from me right now, including myself. So I put on some TV. I watched Adults. I finished that season 1. That was great. And then I worked, so I got some photo workshop stuff done, prepping people, sending emails, doing logistics on the back end of that. Oh yeah, I did have like a work check-in midday in the day as well. And then something really fun happened. I don't remember if I said this the other time, but I did answer all of my texts and DMs. I finally caught up. That took me an hour and a half. The thing is people respond back, so we're kind of backlogging again, but much better than before. But something wild happened. So I have a gig next week out of town, and which is its own story. I've talked about it before, I remember, on here. But a couple years ago, I think a year or 2 years ago, when Olivia Dean released Art of Loving, first off, I love it. Olivia Dean, she's one of my top 3 artists. It's her, Dijon, and then from then on, everybody else, but those two are my top two artists. Got to see Dijon. Was it earlier this year? Did that already happen this year? Yeah, I got to see him earlier this year. And Olivia, I had her ticket since it went out last year, okay? Right? It was last year? Yeah, it was last year. I had 4 tickets, actually. Me, my roommate, and 2 friends. Or 2 acquaintances. Or an acquaintance and her roommate. And I was super excited about it, and then I get this gig, and it was gonna be on the day that I had the ticket. I was like, oh my gosh, what do I do? So I was like, you know what, like, my boyfriend told me about Game Time, and I said, okay, tickets there were starting at $400. I bought my ticket for $150 something. So I was like, all right, well, I'll just sell my ticket for the amount that it is for Game Time, and then, like, use that money to buy, because I am capital B broke right now. Ticketmaster, rightfully so, does not let you sell above what you paid, finally. And I remembered Olivia Dean was the one who, like, was heading that, right? So amazing, great. I love that for the people. Did not love that for me in that moment, but I just accepted that I just wasn't gonna see her because I could not afford, the cheapest ticket was like $470, and I just, in another scenario I would get it, but I just can't justify it right now where I'm at financially. Like, that just doesn't make any sense. So I was like super devastated about it. Was like, okay, like, you know, whatever. I respond back to all my texts and DMs, right? One person I responded to her, like, it must have been 2 months after she texted me. 2 months at least. And yeah, it actually maybe 2.5 months. I text her back, she goes, so she texts back, she goes, while I have you, do you have Olivia Dean plans? And I go, explain the scenario, I had tickets for like the 15th, and I can't get tickets for the other day that I'm back. She's like, well, hear me out, okay? Friend who I thought was gonna come with me can't make it anymore. It's on the exact day that you want. It's floor seats, and it's only $30 more than what I originally paid. I said, I'm sorry, what? When I tell you, I was on that train having the worst experience like I had in a bit. It was just like a lot happening in the day. You know when things happen and it's just back to back, like bad things, like not even like bad. It was just like straw that breaks camel's back kind of things. Very inconveniences, a lot of different inconveniences and frustrations, valid frustrations, and then just like life inconveniences, all was happening in the span of 4 hours. So I'm on the train in the midst of all of that, and I see that text and I go, shut the fuck up. Now what makes it even more fun is that she and I met in line at Olivia Dean's album release for The Art of Loving at, do I remember the venue? It's like in Rockefeller Record something. It's where actually, that place is magic, because that's where I went when Patrick Droney released his album Subtitles of Feelings like 3 years ago at this point. And that's where I met him in person, and then that's when that was the connection point that allowed me to photograph his concert. So like I then go there again. I remember leaving work early and like sneaking out because it was at 3:30 I think, and I worked 2 blocks from there. So I snuck out, and I'm waiting for 2 other friends to join, and I'm in line. The line is so long, I was confused because I'd only been to the venue upstairs, but they had a downstairs venue. So I thought it'd be super easy, smooth in, small, intimate group. Didn't realize there was a downstairs that was massive, and people were lining up like since the beginning of the day. So it's fine. We get in, we get great seats. But while I'm standing in line waiting, because it was a long wait, I either in front of me or behind me, I start talking to a woman, and we strike up conversation. She had come alone, and she just hangs out with my group of girlfriends, and we all keep in touch. Turns out like there's a lot of similarities, commonalities, yada yada. She and I like keep in touch from time to time. In fact, I sold her one of my mics actually, but she traveled a lot. She's super hella dope. Anyway, we met at Olivia Dean's album release party for this album that now, I guess at this point, 1.5 years later, we get to go to together, our floor seats. And so basically, if I hadn't turned around or talked to the person in front of me, I wouldn't have floor seats to Olivia Dean with a really cool person that I get to go to with. So isn't that fun? Isn't that great? So yeah, I thought that was a really fun, cute story. Life has just been like a series of moments like that. Even like I told the story last time of how I got the gig for next week. And like even me just realizing that the place that I went to for Olivia Dean's album release is when I met Patrick Droney and got to photograph his concert. So just like really fun, cute little things like that keep happening. But that's so exciting. That was like the highlight of the week so far. But yeah, So looking ahead to tomorrow, I have a check-in with my personal assistant, and I did not do what she told me to do. So, oh, I updated my website. That's a big one. That happened yesterday. Yes, that happened during the morning yesterday. I updated my website, finally. And by updated it, I mean I restructured the tabs so there's less. I culled down some photos. I need to just go in and update a couple things. And I like reorganize a bunch of stuff so it just looks much cleaner. And eventually what I'm gonna do is redesign it completely, but I just needed it to be somewhere that positioned more what I want to do and what is my actual best work and what makes the site easy to follow. So that took like 4 hours yesterday because Squarespace is just not fun to work with anymore, but having to use a mobile and double check that things worked on the mobile, the desktop, and yada, 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 and it made sense in my head. So that was a lot, but I did it. That was done. So that was huge. So I just remembered that because I was like, I need to let my personal assistant know that I finished that. So I'm super excited to meet with her tomorrow. I think we're gonna be talking about pitch decks. I just need to send her my best work now that I decided what is sitting on my site. So I will do that for her in the morning before that meeting. But yeah, I have that, and then I have co-work with a friend, and then catch up with another friend later in the day. I'm excited for both of those. They're like just catch up / like working experiences, so like kind of 2 birds, 1 stone. And then that's that, and then I just have to do a lot of like different work stuff for different avenues of my life. Trying to get this week content I didn't follow the content schedule this week, so I need to rearrange everything. But the goal is to have everything by this weekend scheduled for all of next week, because I don't want to have to worry about it until I come back into town, and I don't want to have to worry about it for like a day or 2 after I get back into town. So need to schedule all of that out, so that's gonna probably take most of Saturday. Tomorrow is just gonna be like grant applications for things that are due while I'm away, prepping things for my part-time job, basically just trying to have not a lot to do while I'm out there, because it's a low-lift gig according to them, but I want to take advantage of being in that specific space and venue and just being in the right place at the right time. It's access to people that I otherwise wouldn't have access to, so I want to be as present as possible and not like locked away in the hotel room when I'm not working, trying to get things done for myself and other things in my life. So yeah, a lot of moving parts and a bunch of different stuff. Today, I mean, I shouldn't have done nothing, but I also just needed that time. I needed time to just like rot, and I'm glad that I got like 2 of my top things done later down the line. So around like I started at like 10:30 and finished at 12:30, and it's now I think 1 a.m. Ideally I'll be waking up at 6 a.m. I've been doing really well naturally, starting to wake up around that time. And then hopefully we'll just sleep early tomorrow night, because Saturday I have a 10-mile run, allegedly, with my bestie. So that I'm looking forward to. Yeah. So that's where we're at. Yeah, that's where we're at. That's where we'll leave that. That's where we're gonna leave that. I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, we are back. The little on the floor update, and I'm like squatting so I don't do this too long, so I'm uncomfortable enough to like not yap forever. Shout out to my period pimples. Today was a really good day. It was relaxing but also very effective and efficient. I woke up around 8. I did wake up earlier and I was like, I'm going to bed. I did have some stuff that I needed to get done before meeting with my personal assistant, but then we ended up actually not meeting. So that was good. I got some time back. So I worked on, I think, emails and was responding to things. And then I returned some library books that were well overdue. And then afterwards, okay, I gotta already squat. Ouch. Oh, definitely fucked up a toenail. And then I met up with my friend, and we were gonna go to a food handout to get some fruits and veggies, but like we got there, we missed them by like 30 minutes before they ran out, so we missed that. I'm gonna go to one tomorrow when I have time, I volunteer with. So just grab some produce. Really just like, we're at the danger zone of finances, so being smart about using what resources are available, because when you need help, and I'm not ashamed about it. So, but we then went to a cafe, and that was lovely. I did 2 hours of grant work, so I think I applied to 3, which was good, because my tactic is just get as much done before I have to go out of town for like 5 days to do a gig, and then come straight back into a workshop mid-happening, I guess. So we did that, and then came home, and I don't even think I like rested. I think I just kept working. Yeah, I kept working, and I worked on social media stuff, so I'm like 60% of the way of scheduling everything for next week, which is huge. This is the most that I've scheduled out. It took 4 hours to do the amount that I did. So yeah, just trying to have that all automated so I don't even have to think about it next week, and I'm consistent. And then I did something else that I can't remember. Oh, my film photos. Yes, that was another thing we did. He has a car, my friend from earlier, so he was such a doll, drove me everywhere to help me with some errands. So I dropped off some film from New Orleans and my new disposable camera, my new point and shoot. And then I picked up some negatives, and they sent it back today. Shout out Pro Image. Their turnaround is ridiculous. It's not even worth paying Rush, because they'll send it to you within the day, if not one day. On a normal, the photos from New Orleans are beautiful. The photos on the point and shoot, I just don't use point and shoots like that, but I've used other people's point and shoots, and this one functions more of like a disposable, in the sense that like if you get too close to an item, it'll be blurred, which unfortunately I did spend a good amount of time photographing new product at the store, so now I'm gonna have to completely redo those again. And the point of doing it yesterday when I did it was so that I would have that done, so that I don't have to go back and get that done. So now tomorrow I have to make a stop, because I can't otherwise, unless I plan for it Monday and just do my digital camera, but then I have to edit it. I'm trying not to have that extra stuff to do. So anyway, that was frustrating, but it was also on me, because I had learned that lesson the hard way with the disposable camera I used. It's because the first disposable camera I used, taking product photos on, it looked really good and had no issues, and then the next 2 just sucked. So that was like 15 frames that I could have used, but it's fine, whatever. So yeah, that was today. So I'm headed to bed. Tomorrow morning I am doing a run at Summer Streets, so doing a run with my best friend, and theoretically doing 10 miles. Realistically, we'll see. My period did start, so that means it's gonna be like full force probably tomorrow, which is not ideal. Tomorrow's gonna be a lot. Like, hopefully we'll be done with this run, and then sooner rather than later, hopefully by like 10 at the latest, come home, shower, eat, probably have to take a nap, and then make my way downtown. No, probably make my way to the food handout, grab some produce, come back home, and then make my way downtown to the store, do what I need to do there, and then I meet up with a friend. We're supposed to meet up today, but it poured. Meet up with a friend, and then come home, and then I have a call with a friend. So tomorrow's not really a work day. Oh, and fuck. I just realized something I was supposed to have done for the photo workshop, so I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow. So tomorrow's was just supposed to be a chill day, but it's turning out to be a busier day than I had hoped. And I already know that I'm gonna be wiped after this run, so it's a bit of a risk that I'm planning this many things after work or after the run, but we'll see how it all goes. Just trying to get a lot done. I don't think I'll be successful in getting the things that I want to get done out of the way, but I will do my best. because my Sunday is just kind of shot because it's the studio workshop. And then Monday is like also kind of hectic because I'm picking up gear, packing, getting briefed, date night, so many things. So that being said, I'm gonna go to bed with the hopes of waking up at 5 and hopefully knocking out something before this run, and then just like gonna do my best to stay focused. So we'll see how that goes. Hey, I know I'm looking a little crazy. I got my hair mask in and my little heat cap. Okay, I'm about to edit the video, Overexposed, and I was like, I didn't give an update this weekend. Let me actually look at my calendar because I don't fully remember what I did this weekend. Friday was lovely. Excuse me, had co-working with my friends, so we did that. Dropped off some film and they sent it back within that day. Shout out to y'all. Oh my gosh, excuse me, sorry. I'm in the middle of eating like a steak that we made yesterday, and my leftover rice. Saturday I ran 10 miles. Hard as fuck. It was the first day of my period as well. That was rough. It took me out for the rest of the day. I was supposed to have done other stuff like actively outside of the apartment, but I stayed in and just did laptop work and snapped. Then I had a call with a friend. We caught up and he was like asking for some advice of just like freelancing and stuff, and it's really cool. I don't know, it's validating sometimes to see that like people see me as a resource, and even more validating when I'm like having these conversations. I'm like, I know what I'm talking about. Like, I have things to say that are helpful. Yesterday was Intro to Studio Photography workshop. I think it's the best workshop we put on. It was so great. It ran so smooth. It was lovely. It was inspiring. It was the best one. It was so fun. It was great. And then this morning I stopped by my part-time job. I did a little 30-minute run, just had a meeting. Oh, actually that's coming into Monday, which is for next week's episode. But yeah, was just kind of being a little frantic this past week, trying to get things in order because I'm about to be away for a week for a gig that I'm really excited about, but there's also so much happening on the other side of things, and I'll just kind of dive into that in the upcoming call. But yeah, busy day. It was a busy week. It was a great weekend. I like just took some time. It was forced to after the run, but also like had really productive seasons. And yeah, things will be hopefully at a great place by the end of August. August is looking good so far. Been getting a lot of inquiries lately for September. So September is looking like it's going to be like a fast month. So really like now that I'm seeing that that's what's on the horizon, where I'm going to be working gigs like basically the whole month, which is amazing. Definitely taking advantage of the slow period of August because I don't really have anything on the calendar for gigs beside this one that I'm flying out for. So just like really taking the time to get like my other stuff in order, get things handled, taken care of, like organized, get back on a routine, do what I need to do to make sure that when it's busy, I'm not like, you know, and also just taking advantage of this time to like apply to a bunch of grants and residencies. That's all I've been doing. And also beginning to send out some pitches and just like some connections and touch points and stuff, because it's in the slow seasons that you gotta like make sure that you're harvesting time and like catching up on things, and then also still have the routine of doing that for when you're in a busy season too, because you don't want to not do anything when you're in the busy season on the business back end. So been scheduling stuff out. I've scheduled out the majority of my August social media content. So like this whole week, this is the best I've done. This whole week and like a little bit into next week, everything is scheduled, which is so great because I didn't want to have to think about it while I was away. That's one less thing that I need to worry about setting aside time for to do while I'm doing the gig. So that's incredible, amazing. It's just these type of things that I just need to like be doing live. But yeah, feeling good, feeling great. I have a packed schedule today because I fly out early tomorrow morning and I'm trying to get things done. So I'm gonna stop, wash this out, finish this meal, and keep it going. But just wanted to kind of tie off last week, but I hope you had a great past week and a great upcoming week.